Rightio YouTubers, I'd like to welcome you back to another Wise Choice System case review, and this time it is in fact on the Aerocool X-Warrior Black Edition. Alright, so we'll start at the top here. First thing you'll notice is the two USB ports, the headphone and the mic jack. Again, they've all been inscribed at the top here, so you know which one's your headphone and which one's your mic. You got your power and your reset. At first I thought when I pulled this out that this might have been a dock, but it's not. It's just something that you can sit something in if you really want to. And then obviously you've got your front bezels here. This is only a small mid-tower case, so obviously you've only got the 3 slots here, and it is all bezeled at the front here, and as you can see it's got a fair bit of shape to it. Now I'll pull it out a bit. I'll show you the bottom. Now as you can see down the bottom there's that little bit of a handle, and there is also a filter and some quite solid feeding. So this is actually even this little case has a filter for the PSU. But the thing with that little handle down the bottom is it does actually make this easy to actually just pull off, as you can see, and then that obviously, we'll just sit that over there like that, reveals the inside of the case. So obviously if you really wanted to, you could put another fan just here, so that'd be 120mm for you to cool down your hard drives or whatever it is that you chose to do. Obviously you then have the standard fan, 120mm LED, and then obviously you've got your rack. Now this top part does come out, and when we go into the inside I'll show you there is no point, you can't fit a fan or anything in there, so I'm not actually 100% sure why you would want to move it, but like all, well, most of the Aerocool cases, it does actually come off, so it's not too bad. And I mean, you can see right through, you can see to the back fan and everything like that. Alright, so now we put the front bezel back on, and this is the rear view. Obviously you got your power supply here. The filter is quite easy to pull in and out, so the power supply will go in there. You got your blue PCI covers. You've actually got grommets and everything like that for water cooling, if you wanted to water cool it. And then obviously that's where the rear 120mm fan, I don't believe that's an LED fan, and then obviously this is where the back panel would go. Flip it around. Now that's obviously your window side. It's got a decent window in it, not excessively big, so you can't really see hard drives, you won't really see any optical. There's this part here, so if you were having trouble cable managing, obviously you could hide some stuff there because it's not going to get seen because of the window unless they kind of go right up, but even still it's quite dark in there, so you'd have to run LEDs if you wanted to see up in there. I'll take these little thumb screws out and we'll have a look at what room we've got. Now these thumb screws are actually it is actually a hard plastic, like what's coming out pretty standard on most cases now, which is good. I like to see that because it makes it easier to pull them off. And now let's see how hard this is. Okay, it's actually quite easy to pull off, which is good. Alright, so you got obviously you've got your quick release on both sides. You screw all your toolless options, pretty standard from Aerocool, not too bad. These actually do hold in them quite well, I have to admit. I'm not a very big fan in general of helps if you accept of toolless options, mainly because I can never get them back in, but mainly because they very rarely actually do what you want them to do. And this one here, as you can see, I think I might have taken you through for a bit of a ride for a second there while I was trying to put this one back in, but as you can see this one doesn't actually have a slot here, it actually has 2 sections. So the only problem here is obviously you've only got 2 settings and you've got to try and actually get that to line back up. which doesn't actually seem to be quite the easiest task. Oh, there we go. It seems to be, nope, doesn't seem to be right either. So yeah, okay, this is probably the only, oh, there we go. Okay, so maybe it's not that hard, but anyway, so yeah, so a little bit different to a couple of their other ones. Normally they have a slot there, they don't have that lock-in option, but obviously in this one they do. As you saw before when I was trying to put that thing back in, it does have quite a large cutout for the back of the board for your CPU cooler or something like that. There isn't really a great deal of room back here. It is a slide panel, so obviously you've only got that room, so you probably only have maybe a couple of mil. So I'm not actually sure if you will fit how well the power cable will run up through here. However, what they have done to incorporate that is they've actually how would you say that, recessed this part here, so it actually gives you a deeper section up through here. So obviously, you know, running your power and stuff like that would be a little bit easier. And also just here, now this is something else that I like and I'd love to see in a lot more cases. This here is recessed as well. Now this is normally where you'll pass your HDD or any type of cabling like that if possible. Now I think that the way that these I haven't actually seen in the case yet, so we're all going this pretty much first hand. Now I do believe that it is actually, I can move this so we can actually see it. Yep, there we go. So the way that the hard drives mount anyway is the cables aren't going to come out here, and as you can see there's a massive amount of room just here. So if you wanted to use that for anything you could, but the way the hard drives are going to mount, it's pretty much going to be inside the case anyway. And it doesn't look like that can be moved. It looks like it has fan holes just up in there where that Aerocool symbol is. I'm not actually 100% sure if that is fan holes or not, or if you can get a bracket so that you can mount something else there. I haven't had a look in the book or anything like that, and it doesn't really say anything on the box. But obviously that there's designed so that you can actually fit the larger graphics cards in. This case is designed to fit those larger cards. So what we'll do now is we'll flip this back around and we'll have a look. Now I'm actually surprised, like this is actually quite easy to get on and off. It doesn't seem to be quite too tight or anything like that. We'll take our accessories out. We'll have a look at those in a minute. They're obviously just got the I'll call them the old garbage tie, the old garbage bag ties. I'm not actually sure what the technical name for these are. Ties, whatever. Yeah, so okay, so there's the accessory book. We'll just sit that up there for now. We'll have a look at that later. So now, obviously here we've got the front connectors for the fans and everything like that. You've got your USB, audio, HDD, LED, reset and power. So pretty standard stuff all in that. So we can tuck that up in there for now. So that's all pretty standard. Obviously there's your rear fan. There is no top fan, as you can see. Now I'm gonna see if I can get you guys up in here. Let's turn the light on this thing. Oh, look at that. See that screw just there? You pop that screw, and then I'm not sure how much light I'm gonna get you guys in here, but I'll give it a go. But basically just up to the right, I can't actually see the screen, so I'm not sure if I'm showing you guys right. Oh yep, there we go. There's, what happens is there's 3 of those little slots and it just clips in. So basically you'd push that top bit back and it would pop off. So that top section, which is obviously this part here, then the whole thing will just slide back and pop off. I'm not sure why you would want to take it off. You're not obviously going to fit a fan or anything there. Now the only thing with this case is obviously I haven't set a board in there, and it doesn't look like there is actually a great deal of room up the back there. So that would be the reason why there would be no fan. But it does look like it's grooved, so me, because there is actually grooved here, so you could probably, so that would be where I would run the ATX cable or something like that. So in all honesty, that does actually tell me, there you go, that actually does tell me that the board doesn't sit right up there, which disappoints me that I'm not seeing a fan up there if that's the case, due to the fact that, well, there could have been a fan there. Top fans are always cool, even if they just put a mesh up here or something like that, and a little fan or something. But in a small case like this as well, I do have to say, probably not necessarily needed if you do cool it properly, like chuck in a nice CPU cooler that blows straight out the back. If you needed to, you could always upgrade the rear fan, chuck another front fan on, and you'll generally be okay. Now, there's that Aerocool, the other side of it. Obviously you can read it on this side. Again, you got the PCI toolless options there, hard drive PCI toolless options. There's the hard drive bay just in there. As you can see, obviously that's going to show you into the front bezel where it points out. It looks like, so you can only fit, you know, your 3 hard drives in here. And then obviously there's that fan. So I probably generally would chuck in a fan, another 120 mil in there, mainly because, well, I can, and it would obviously help with the flow. There's obviously the bezel part of the bottom so that the air can get out and it is filtered. And I'd actually like the fact, I think that every case, no matter what, should actually come with this design. I don't like the idea of actually having an upward facing fan for a PSU. I like having it facing out the bottom, but that's just me. I also like the fact in these cases that the tile sections just here are actually bigger. I hate it when they give you those real little ones and you can only fit the small cable ties in, but you need to cable tie something like, you know, 3 cords or something, and it's just a pain in the ass. So all in all, this case is looking quite good. It's quite sturdy, it's quite solid. I've got, you know, both panels off and it seems pretty strengthy. So far it seems pretty good. Obviously I haven't built in it yet, so that'll be the ultimate test to see how we can go with the cable management, how neat we can keep it, because that's pretty much my biggest thing so far. Though I do have to give Aerocool credit. They do think of little things so that it does make it easier. Alright, so what we'll do now is we'll see what we got in this accessories box. Well, it's an actual bag, and as you can see it is here. Now it looks like it comes with a actual caddy. One sec. Okay, now what it actually looks like it comes with is a caddy, everything like that. Alright, here we go. So what do we got? So obviously, that's interesting, the way that it clips in. So now obviously that's if you wanted to run, say, like a what do they call them, a card reader or something like that, or if you're still running 3/4 floppies. That's obviously what that is designed to go for the front bezel. And look at that. Now every case should come with one of these. Obviously it's a mounting plate for your SSD. Now that could also be another thing for that. I wonder if we could get an SSD to, let's have a look here. Could we get an SSD to mount sideways? What about if we went that way? Where are the screws on this thing? No, we couldn't. Oh, well, it was worth a shot. Oh, we can. Look at that. Okay, so that could be another thing as well. Where's the other screw? Look at that. Alright, so it looks like you can actually get an SSD to mount on that side. That's probably what that is for. So you would be mounting your SSD as such on this part here. So that's obviously not for a fan. Well, you could probably get a small fan on there, like one of those real small sky fans or something, which would be no point because it would be blowing that way. But anyway, which was why it was intriguing me on why there was holes there. But yeah, so it looks like you can mount a an SSD on the side, or if you wanted to, you could, you know, mount it up in your in your optical bay with the tray that is here. So yeah, it's got the bottom holes here, and here, so you can do what it is that you choose. Now we have a booklet. Booklets are always cool, and this is going to tell me if I'm right about the SSD. So, you know, pretty standard. Shows you what accessories you get, shows you how to use the tool, how to use the, you can choose to mount either an 8cm or a 12cm fan at reverse side of the adapter. So there you go. So if you want to put a fan on there as well, oh yeah, look at that. There you go. You can chuck some fans on there, chuck it in your optical bay if you chose, or you can mount some floppy disk drives, SSDs, or whatever it is, card readers, or whatever it is that you choose to mount there. Obviously you can. It's not really showing me anything else that I don't already know though. Everything else is pretty standard. So yeah, it tells you, about the front fan. It tells you how to remove your side panel. Does it show us how to? Oh yep, there you go. Place the SSD against the inside wall of the chassis. There you go. So that is where the SSD goes. So hey, that book actually came in handy. Not really, because we worked it out. Now, obviously in here you've got, it looks like some decently length screws. Some nice thick. They look like fan screws. They might be for that front bezel. Not 100% sure. I am intrigued by these ones here though, because they are quite long, as you can see. So obviously I'm not 100% sure on what those long screws there are for, due to the fact that I haven't built in this yet. And I would honestly doubt that those long screws would be for the SSD, because it's quite thin here. It looks like that'll be something that will work out when we build in it, which hopefully will be today, but we'll see how we go. I'm pretty flat out at this present stage, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, so as usual, it's been another Wise Choice Systems review. If you guys have any questions at all, oh, one more thing just before I do go, I better actually let you, on the side panel here, as usual, you've got your fan choices. 220mm. You don't really actually have a choice, because you can't buy a weird rectangular shaped fan that would otherwise do that. So it looks like all you're going to be doing is running 220mm fans on the side if you really wanted to, and that would be about it. So yeah, sorry about that, I kind of forgot. But yeah, so that's been another Wise Choice Systems case review. We'll see how we go when we build in it. As usual, if you guys have any questions regarding these cases, any of my builds, or you're interested in purchasing a PC from us, please feel free to just inbox me or leave me a message. And again, enjoy.